Pets, yes or no? Will you allow pets in your short-term rental? A recent poll showed that over 67% of American households have pets. It should come as no surprise that more people are traveling with their pets and are actively looking for pet-friendly destinations. Full disclosure here, if I haven't already let it slip, I am pet-friendly in our STRs. This has not come without its troubles, but I feel the benefits have outweighed the problems. That said, let's talk about the pros and cons of accepting pets into your short-term rental. Pros. You have the potential for more bookings by marketing your property to a wider audience. You can increase your nightly rate or include a pet fee, as pet owners will pay extra for the opportunity to stay with their pets. You have a competitive advantage over other properties that don't allow pets. Cons. Pets can cause damage and more wear and tear. Dogs in particular can be loud and disturb your neighbors. Most pets shed, and this can cause an increase in mess and/or cleaning time costs. It is possible for guests' pets to bring flea and tick infestations into your short-term rental. Some individuals, guests and hosts alike, are allergic to pet dander. Let's discuss this for a moment. After 3 years of experience with allowing pets in our short-term rentals, I am still pet-friendly, but I have some advice and experience to share on the subject. Potentially higher nightly income. I've listed the pros and cons above, but I recommend allowing pets. This is one of those things that sets us apart from a standard hotel, and while hotels are beginning to accept animals, it is far less available than pet owners would like. Pet owners will be thankful you are pet-friendly, and there will be plenty of them who are just relieved they don't have to sneak them in. Because yes, that happens. A lot. Allowing pets can also allow you to charge a nightly fee that is slightly higher than others in your area. It may seem like a conundrum, but a guest traveling with pets will often be willing to pay more for a place that allows pets than one that doesn't, and they will still balk at paying a pet fee. Pet fees. There are pros and cons to charging a pet fee. For one, hosting platforms such as Airbnb only have a flat fee for pets. If you were to ask for $25, that would cover all of the pets, whether there was 1 or 4 or more. Some guests will do anything it takes to save a buck, and that includes misrepresenting how many pets they have or disclosing if they have one with them at all. As I suggested above, I would simply suggest raising your nightly fee slightly higher instead. The other reason I don't charge pet fees is that some platforms, Airbnb, do not honor damage claims on pets under their air cover policy. If they see there is a pet and you have pet-specific damage, you will not be compensated, and you might not get any money from the guest either. They can simply ignore your request with no real repercussions other than a negative review, which I have loved. Damage will happen. Plan accordingly. Let me start this off by saying that if you have wall-to-wall carpet in your short-term rental, I actually advise that you do not allow pets. We went to area rugs over laminate, hardwood, vinyl, and tile around 20 years ago. As a lifelong pet owner, I found wall-to-wall carpeting especially disgusting, just in the normal course of living. Factor in pets and children, and wall-to-wall carpeting is a nightmare. An area rug can be cleaned or replaced for a relatively inexpensive investment, but regular carpeting cannot be. Imagine for a moment that you are a dog or a cat. You can smell everything. Every creature that has stayed in this strange place you are currently staying in. No matter how well behaved your owners think you are, the likelihood is, with smelling all of those smells, even the best dog will crack. The place is unfamiliar, and look, right here, some dog peed. You can smell it. Most pet owners will do their absolute level best to anticipate their pet's needs and avoid messes and clean them up when they happen. A smaller percentage will not. Over time, I have found that even area rugs are not something that belongs in our STR properties, and they are being slowly phased out as stains and other mishaps occur. We will be left with hardwood and tile floors that are easily cleaned and maintained. I also suggest stocking an enzyme cleaner that can be added to the mop water. This will help remove the smell of the other animals and their accidents. I've listed it in the cleaning supplies list, which is available for download on my author website at www.christineschuck.com/STR-Success-resources. And if you have damage that has resulted from a pet, I recommend the following course of action. Reach out to the guest. Something to the effect of, "Hi, Susan, my cleaners noticed that there was a hole in the couch cushion that wasn't there at the last turnover." Wait for a response. They will either own up to it or not. If they do, typically they will offer to pay or ask you what you want from them. Then you can send them a damage request via the online platform. Some platforms have built-in damage deposits as part of the reservation, and it simply goes against that and paid out to you. Contact the online platform. I typically avoid using any verbiage that indicates that it might have been a pet that did this damage, since some platforms, Airbnb, do not allow pet damages at the time of this writing as part of their host insurance. I had this recently happen to 2 rugs. The guest was unresponsive to my request, so I escalated to Airbnb and wrote, "They damaged 2 rugs during the guest's stay. One may have had something spilled on it as it was washed, and the other had 2 holes worn in it, perhaps from a chair leg?" Within 24 hours, they issued payment for the replacement costs of both rugs. I chose not to purchase replacement rugs since the hardwood floors are easier to maintain. Service animals and emotional support animals. Whether you choose to accept pets, please remember that service animals are legally allowed in all United States housing per the Americans with Disabilities Act. There is a significant amount of confusion on what a service animal is and how it is differentiated from an emotional support animal, so I want to address that clearly and concisely so that you have zero confusion on it. As defined on ADA.gov, a service animal is defined as dogs that are individually trained to work or perform tasks for people with disabilities. The ADA clarifies what that means. Examples of such work or tasks include guiding people who are blind, alerting people who are deaf, pulling a wheelchair, alerting and protecting a person who is having a seizure, reminding a person with mental illness to take prescribed medications, calming a person with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, during an anxiety attack, or performing other duties. Service animals are working animals, not pets. As a working animal, you cannot request an additional deposit or pet fee from your guest. You also cannot, by law, deny a reservation request from a potential guest solely because of a no pet policy you may have in place. That's for a service animal, not an emotional support animal. Okay, great, you might think. Then what the heck are emotional support animals? An emotional support animal is an animal companion that offers some type of benefit to an individual with some form of disability. The animal should provide companionship and support that will help ease at least the emotional aspect of the disability. Also, dogs are the most common type of emotional support animal, but cats are quite common as well. Other types of animals, such as miniature horses, can also serve as ESAs. Per the ADA, dogs whose sole function is to provide comfort or emotional support do not qualify as service animals under the ADA. Emotional support animals do not qualify as a service animal, and therefore, as a host, you are not required, under law, to accept them. I have copied the following directly from the ADA website, and it is very important for you to read and understand when dealing with a potential or current guest who has an ADA-compliant service animal. I've also highlighted the particular host applicable points. When it is not obvious what service an animal provides, only limited inquiries are allowed. Here's the part that's highlighted. Staff may ask 2 questions. 1. Is the dog a service animal required because of a disability? And 2. What work or task has the dog been trained to perform? Staff cannot ask about the person's disability, require medical documentation, require a special identification card or training documentation for the dog, or ask that the dog show its ability to perform the work or task. Allergies and fear of dogs are not valid reasons for denying access or refusing service to people using service animals. Highlighted area off. When a person who is allergic to dog dander and a person who uses a service animal must spend time in the same room or facility, for example, in a school classroom or at a homeless shelter, they both should be accommodated by assigning them, if possible, to different locations within the room or different rooms in the facility. Highlighted area on. A person with a disability cannot be asked to remove his service animal from the premises unless 1. The dog is out of control and the handler does not take effective action to control it, or 2. The dog is not housebroken. Highlighted area off. When there is a legitimate reason to ask that a service animal be removed, staff must offer the person with a disability the opportunity to obtain goods or services without the animal's presence. Establishments that sell or prepare food must allow service animals in public areas, even if state or local health codes prohibit animals on the premises. People with disabilities who use service animals, highlighted area on, cannot be isolated from other patrons, treated less favorably than other patrons, or charged fees that are not charged to other patrons without animals. In addition, if a business requires a deposit or fee to be paid by patrons with pets, it must waive the charge for service animals. Highlighted area off. If a business such as a hotel normally charges guests for damage that they cause, highlighted area on, a customer with a disability may also be charged for damage caused by himself or his service animal. Highlighted area off. Staff are not required to provide care for or supervision of a service animal. Keep in mind, if when dealing with customer service of an online booking program, that you may have to educate them as to the ADA website and laws quoted. This is definitely an important section to bookmark if you have future dealings on the subject. What to stock? After all that, if you choose to allow pets, I recommend you stock the following in your short-term rental to help your pet owners out. A water and food bowl, puppy pads, enzyme or deodorizing spray, chew toys, cat toys, a mat for placing bowls on for the floor, a wire kennel. Stocking these items, most of which you can find for next to nothing at a local dollar store, can mean the world for pet owners. The wire kennel can also mean the difference between an owner letting their pets roam free and damaging your home. I've had many guests comment that in providing the kennel, I had saved them the trouble of having to unpack theirs and haul it inside. Phew! That was a lot of information. In summary, accepting pets in your STR can mean potentially more income. It can also come with drawbacks, and when dealing with a potential